Tonya only wanted to get home, a simple trip from Benin to Lagos, that was all. But when she boarded a shiny silver Sienna that morning, she didn't know she was stepping into a nightmare. The smiles of her fellow passengers hit something dark. The road she thought led home twisted into a place that didn't exist on any map. Now, miles from safety, surrounded by strangers and silence, one question echoed louder than her heartbeat. The morning sun crept slowly over Benin City, stretching golden light across the motor park. The air buzzed with noise, hawkers, shouting gala. Pure water. Drivers revving old buses, the smell of petrol mixing with fried yam. Tonya adjusted her NYSC khaki trousers and glanced at her wristwatch. 6:30 a.m. She had been standing there for almost an hour, waiting for a decent bus to Lagos. After 3 weeks in Okoda orientation camp, she longed for her mother's voice, her bed, and home-cooked rice. Lagos. Direct. One seat remained. A man in a red cap yelled beside a shiny silver Toyota Sienna. Tonya hesitated. Something about the bus looked too quiet, 5 passengers already inside, all silent, all staring ahead. But she was tired. And she wanted to reach Lagos before nightfall. How much? She asked. 7,000 naira direct. No stopping, the driver replied, flashing a gold tooth. She paid, climbed in, and squeezed beside a young woman with neat braids and a soft smile. Hi, I'm Amoka, the woman said. You're heading to Lagos too? Yes. Going home before redeployment. The bus rolled out, merging with the stream of vehicles on the Benin or expressway. For a while, it felt normal, gospel music on the radio, trees flashing by, people chewing biscuits. But then, Tonya noticed something odd. The driver didn't stop at the first checkpoint, nor the second. He ignored a major turn that led directly to Oregon. The silence in the car grew heavy. Oga, one passenger finally said, you pass Lagos Road. Oh, the driver's hands tightened on the wheel. Shortcut. A faint unease crawled down Tonya's spine. She reached for her phone, no signal. Amoka leaned closer, whispering, you feel strange too. Tonya nodded. I think. We entered the wrong bus. The road narrowed into a lonely path surrounded by thick forest. The asphalt disappeared, replaced by dusty red mud. The bus jolted over roots and stones. Oga, where you dey carry us go? Someone shouted, relax, the driver snapped. But tension filled the air. The front passenger, a tall man with a scar across his cheek, pulled a gun from under his seat. Everybody quiet, he growled. Nobody talk. Gasps filled the bus. The woman with the baby started crying. The baby wailed louder. Please, Tonya whispered. We are just coppers. The man turned toward her, smacking. Then pray your uniform can save you. The bus stopped at a clearing. Everybody calmed down. They were forced out, lined up beside a fallen tree. 2 other men emerged from the bushes, rough, armed, ice cold. The robbers collected everything, phones, purses, watches, shoes. When they found Tonya's NYSC ID card, the scarred man looked at her. You'll fetch good ransom. He pointed at Tonya and Amoka. You two, move. They were dragged deeper into the bush as the others begged helplessly. The forest swallowed them, tall trees, damp soil, and the sound of insects buzzing. Tonya's heart thudded. Every step she took, fear burned deeper. At last, they reached an abandoned wooden shack. Inside were old sacks, broken chairs, and the smell of sweat and smoke. This is where una go stay till we make call, said one man. If you try run, you die. Tonya and Amoka sat on the floor, trembling. We'll find a way out, Amoka whispered. We have to. Night fell fast. The kidnappers built a small fire outside the shack, cooking noodles while talking in hushed tones. Tonia's stomach growled, but fear replaced hunger. She studied the place. The back wall had a broken plank. Through it, she saw the glint of moonlight. An escape route, Amoka noticed too. You see it? Tonia nodded slowly. We go tonight. Hours later, when the kidnappers began drinking gin and laughing, the two women crawled toward the back wall. Tonia's heart hammered so loud she was sure they'd hear it. One plank creaked. Stop, Amoka whispered. They froze. The kidnappers laughed louder, drunk now. Perfect. With shaking hands, they slipped through the hole, scraping their skin against rough wood. Outside, the forest was alive with sounds, crickets, distant owls, the hum of danger. They ran barefoot through mud, branches whipping their faces. The forest felt endless, suffocating. Suddenly, they heard shouting behind them, don't run. Catch them. Panic surged. They sprinted faster, crashing through undergrowth, not caring where they were headed. At last, they stumbled upon a small river, shimmering faintly under the moon. They waded in, letting the cold water swallow their footprints. After what felt like hours, they collapsed under a large tree, gasping. We're not safe yet, Tonia whispered. We keep moving by dawn. Dawn broke softly, painting the sky orange. The forest birds sang, oblivious to the terror that had passed through the night. The girls trudged on, wet and barefoot. Their khaki trousers were torn, faces streaked with mud. Every sound made them jump. Around mid-morning, they stumbled into a farmland, rows of cassava and maize. An old man emerged, holding a cutlass. Ubi una. He barked, please, help us. Tonia gasped. We escaped kidnappers. The man's eyes softened. Yezu. He led them to his mud hut, gave them water, and hid them behind stacks of yam. Minutes later, they heard voices, male, angry, searching. The kidnappers had tracked them. The farmer whispered, don't breathe. Boots studded outside, machetes gleamed in the sun. The men searched for hours, then left. The silence that followed was deafening. After ensuring the coast was clear, the man led them through a hidden path that linked to the Benin or highway. If you na hurry, una fit see checkpoints for front. They thanked him and hurried off. But before they reached the main road, a motorbike roared behind them. One of the kidnappers had spotted them again. Run! Amoka screamed. They sprinted, lungs burning, until they burst out of the bush and onto the highway. Horns blared as a trailer screeched to a stop. The driver jumped out, eyes wide. What happened? Kidnappers. Tonia panted. Without hesitation, he pulled them into the truck cabin and sped away. Behind them, the kidnappers' bike grew smaller, fading into dust. By noon, they arrived at the All Police checkpoint. Officers surrounded the truck, listening in disbelief as Tonia and Amoka told their story. Their uniforms were soaked, feet blistered, eyes hollow. The police immediately alerted stations along the Benin-Lagos corridor. Reports came in. Other passengers from that same Sienna were still missing. Tonia sat quietly on a bench outside the station, staring at her torn ID card. I just wanted to go home, she murmured. Her phone, recovered by the police, rang. It was her mother. The sound of her mother's crying broke something inside her. Mommy. I'm safe now. That night, the DPO visited. You two are lucky, he said. We've caught two of the gang. You helped us find their base. Amoka smiled weakly. So we didn't escape for nothing. The next morning, a police van took them toward Lagos. As they passed the forest again, Tonia looked out the window, the same trees, the same red earth. But now, it felt different. She whispered to herself, I never ignore my instincts again. As Lagos skyline appeared in the distance, the fear inside her melted into quiet strength. She had seen death, but survived it.